Cartoons, the animated frontier. These are the voyages of the Cellcast podcast. Its continuing mission to explore strange new cartoons, to seek out new animation styles and new creative storytelling methods, to boldly go where so few ever go again. To another episode of the Cellcast. Joining me today is a man who just wants to set the world on fire, Jacob.
Let it burn, let it burn, let it burn. Why, thank you. I'd like to introduce our co-host, a man who just wants the burnish to be free. Welcome, Drew.
How are you doing, Jacob?
I wish there was a nice fire in front of us right now.
Yes,
instead of a freezing cold right now.
I love how this timed out.
Yes.
Because we put this on the list back in September.
Yes.
You put it on the list, actually.
Yes, I did.
And it didn't come out until we were in the middle of Snowpocalypse 2021 here in East Texas.
Yes. Yeah, right now in East Texas, we are going through like the worst blizzard ever.
In like 30 years.
In 30 years. Because I remember as a kid, back in like 1990 something, like it was like 7 degrees for like one day, and it was a mixture of ice and snow. It was the most wonderful day ever. And then
when you were a kid,
when I was a kid,
when you have to go to work in it,
yeah, exactly.
Which thankfully I have not. You, on the other hand,
yes, I had to work today. Thank the Lord, I had. Thank you, Travis Riddle from Riddle Construction, for giving me the ride. I hope your family enjoys the chocolate covered strawberries, which apparently they did.
Good.
And then I got a ride from, David Greetham. Thank you so much for giving me a ride. It's a friend of our pastor, Dr. Mike. Apparently, he is a fellow church member of the church we both go to. And it was really nice to meet you and get to talk to you while on the ride back home. Thank you. So, yes, I worked for about 6 hours nonstop. It was full throttle.
I feel your pain. I've known your pain. Not in the freezing cold, admittedly. Thank the Lord, but
yeah, where I work, I work as a stacker at a grocery store. Yeah, for most people know.
So you're outside all the time.
I was outside most of the time, and I'm wearing
10 to 20 degree weather.
Exactly, walking through snow.
You have never been more thankful for that mask until today. Have
exactly, you? Exactly. Until your glasses fog up and you can't see.
That's normal. You just get used to that after a while.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was a very long day. Very long day. I had one of our coworkers. Apparently, she's not used to standing on her feet so much. She was lying in one of the lanes, just sprawled out. It's like, I'm not used to. Just like, really?
I was slow enough at some point today for that.
It slowed down. Be like, well, we had like additional, like so many other sackers, but I piped up because we had problems with getting people. Not saying that we don't have people that can't work, we just can't find a suitable candidate to be a morning sacker. So today we had 5 sackers. It was nuts, and I said that to somebody. It's like, well, finally they can get another sacker in here.
Anyway,
yes.
So yeah, we've both been rather cold.
Yes. But
in the chances you've been home and been where you could watch something, what have you been watching?
Let's see.
Besides this movie.
I started the series I think last week, and I finished it this week. Finished Mobile Suit Gundam Wing.
Nice.
And I'd just say it's a lot of characters philosophizing about war and peace and soldiers, and people don't talk like that, because it was like every character monologuing very philosophically about war and soldiers, and it's like every character And plus you have a character who has a suicidal complex. because she has to find the main character no matter what. And it's just like, Relina, just calm down, girl. I know he saved your life once, and he threatened to kill you at least 3 times. Drop it and move on, lady. And she doesn't even want it with him. It's like, just like, what in the world? But the ending of this show is so weird, and I know a lot of people have mixed reaction. I know it was like one of the first Gundam series to come out in America, at least English wise, because apparently it was simuldubbed. But other than that, it was. I know people love it, they hate it. Be like, I'm kind of that mix. Be like, I have like fond feelings for it, and rewatching it again has like, this is a weird show, and the fact to be like, this is the first Gundam series to actually do more of the pretty boys thing they went into later on, and that got a little annoying. Is like, you know, the bad boy but good boy, be like, I'm so conflicted and all this stuff. I'm just like, okay, this gets a little annoying, but the story was good for the most part. Would I recommend it? Yes. Other than that, no, that's about it. I did do a piece over Gundam Wing. If you want to go see that, go check it out. My Jacob's Daily Art Corner. You can go also check me out on sorry, long day. You can go check that piece out. I've got it in ink form and color form. Go check it out. Thanks, Johnny, for the for your raving review of that piece. Thank you. Other than that, I did a piece for the movie we're doing now, so you can also check that out on Jacob's Daily Art Corner, wherever else you find me, for the most part. But I did that yesterday. I was off. Thank you. That was awesome. I don't know about tomorrow, but you never know. Other than that, I still need to watch a few movies for another podcast. Other than that, I'm good. How about you?
Well, I watched earlier today this movie right here.
Yeah.
Pompoko. It was a very interesting movie. That's one we're going to be doing in November when we get to Miyazaki month this year. Also,
sneak preview.
Yeah, I want. There was an issue with it I knew of, and I wanted to see what that issue was.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
How much of an issue it was before we do that, just in case I needed to say something. And let's face it, I got time today.
Right.
So yeah, there was that, and then I also today I was inspired by some conversation going over at on the Retro Rewind podcast Discord channel about Dr. Stone, that anime. I'd seen the first 3 episodes of it, I think 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I mentioned it on here, and I rewatched the first 3 episodes, and I'm more intrigued, I think, this time around, so I may finish it, especially since I've got some time.
Okay.
Also, I watched the same 2 movies you talked about for the other podcast. And I watched
a lot of dancing in a big lizard.
Yes. And then I watched a movie about 2 dogs and a cat going on an incredible journey.
That's a good movie.
It is a good movie. So yeah, that's what I've been watching.
Good deal.
So what do we got in the news?
All right, so all right, so info and stuff, or not info stuff, but news.
News. Info and stuff is later.
Yeah, we're in news right now. Okay. All right, so apparently Disney has created a new theatrical short. It's called Us Again. It's a vibrant and original new theatrical short that will bring together dance, music, emotional storytelling, and inspired animation, set to debut in theaters, hopefully, beginning on March 5th. being run in front of the Walt Disney Animation Studios' newest anime feature, Raya and the Last Dragon. That's a movie we hopefully will be doing a reaction to.
Indeed.
All right, so now I did not read this book series as a kid. I know a lot of people have. I know my brother did. He loved it, and I know a lot of people who loved it. Are you?
It's the one I'm thinking of. My cousin read it and tried to get me to read it, and I told him I read it, so he'd shut up. But I have not actually read it.
All right, so Redwall.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking it as.
Redwall will be apparently it's either going to be an animated series or an animated movie. It's saying an animated film. Let's see. It is currently being developed by Patrick McCall. He created Over the Wall. He was for Over the Wall, which is a series I think we're going to get into at some point. And Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
That I saw the trailer for that. No.
Okay.
I will sit through when that one comes out. I'm going to suggest we actually do Disney's Pinocchio as a tie-in, but I'm not looking forward to it.
Okay. Plus, the original Pinocchio is really trippy.
And Guillermo del Toro's version is not going to be?
Well, it's Guillermo del Toro.
Have you seen some of his stuff?
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah.
It's a little weird.
Yeah.
So, yes, that will be coming out to Netflix at some point. I think it was, obviously, I don't have the date right in front of me, but it will be coming to Netflix probably some point this year or next year. That's all I got in the news.
All right, so let's get into the spoiler-free section of this movie, Promare.
Yeah, Promare.
Which, admittedly, if you're just picking up the box, you're going, what on earth is a Promare? Yeah. Is that a professional female horse? That was the first thing that came to my mind.
Okay, interesting.
Promare. But no, it's one word. So it's like, okay. And I'll admit, looking at this case, tell me you don't see this. That don't look like a chick. Like it should be a chick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leo looks like a chick to me.
Yeah.
So when I heard Johnny Young Bosch's voice come out of that, I was like, oh, that's a dude. Great.
Yeah, to hear the Black Ranger come out of that character, I was like, okay, that's interesting.
That is an interesting choice. It fits. Don't get me wrong.
I was halfway expecting to hear him at some point say, Mastodon!
Yeah. Or Black Ranger power.
Something like that.
Yes.
Either way.
He says that later on.
He does.
Oh, me.
Oh, my.
So for those of you who don't know what Promare is, which admittedly I didn't before watching this, I would describe this as Evangelion meets Dragon Ball Z. Am I too far off on this?
Not so far off.
With a healthy mix of Kill la Kill.
Like a huge dash of Kill la Kill. Oh,
and
my
if you
gosh.
don't know what
or better yet, Gurren Lagann.
Yes. And if you don't know what any of these words we're saying are, those are all anime.
Yes.
They're all very much influences on this show.
Bat nuts crazy.
Well, what do you expect from Trigger?
Nothing less.
This is the company, I kid you not, made an anime series, admittedly shorts, where all the there was no animation to speak of. It was just still images of characters. That was the craziest crap you ever seen, called Inferno Cop.
Interesting.
I will have to show you Inferno Cop at one point because it's going to blow your mind you'll hate it.
Okay.
I will guarantee you'll hate it because there ain't no story. It is just stupid joke after stupid joke.
Okay, I probably will not like it.
You will hate it.
Okay.
But anyway.
Wow.
I actually, believe it or not, enjoyed this film.
Yeah.
Because it scratched that Dragon Ball Z itch that sometimes Dragon Ball Z doesn't do a good job of scratching. Right. Plus, you've got like you've got that Kill la Kill animation style, so you know all the fights are going to look awesome. And then you've got the weird, thought-provoking stuff of Evangelion, but not as weird as Evangelion.
Agreed. It doesn't go as deep psychologically.
Yes. But there is still some of that in there. It's just like, okay, I get where you're going. Right. So, yeah. I actually enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. And it's probably the most meta anime that doesn't really hurt itself in that meta-ness that I've ever watched.
Agreed.
The closest thing I can think to this is Fooly Cooly. And Fooly Cooly breaks the fourth wall so many times it's not even funny. This never breaks the fourth wall.
No, it's
the fourth wall is completely intact.
That is true.
And yet it's very meta.
I first oh my gosh. This movie is bonkers to the wall insanely good. I know that makes no sense from some people, but it has it's like Drew said, the fact to be like, if you've seen Kill la Kill, if you've seen Gurren Lagann, if you've seen anything Trigger, you've seen anything Gainax.
Yeah.
Be like, this just fits right in there perfectly. Like, if you watched Little Witch's Academia, which has nothing to do with My Hero Academia.
Little Witch Academia.
Little Witch Academia, that's what I meant to say. But the insanity of this movie, but at the same time, it has these very nice little plot threads throughout it, and it's just about human rights and it's all about human rights. It's all about human rights and people having the right to be free and not being persecuted. And it's got this really, really deep message in there. It's just really, really good. The animation in this movie is fantastic. Oh my word. Like the first time I saw this thing was like, oh my gosh. I'd be like, when I first watched it, I didn't quite understand it. But after watching it for the fourth time, yeah, just, it's so good. I'd be like, you could probably sit there and say, well, the most boring thing ever. Then what kind of person are you? Like, not to be like, there again, be like, it's drawing from the well of, it's Studio Trigger and it's founding in Gainax. And you just see all that collide in this movie, and it's just beautiful craziness.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes, that is my spoilerific.
You mean spoiler free?
Yeah.
Because we've not spoiled anything yet.
No.
All right.
Spoilerific free.
Anyway, let's hit the bumper, and we'll get to actually spoiling this thing on the other side.
All right.
Ray. Wrong? Okay. This progress is a part of Christian Reek Central Network. Wrong. Hey, Scoop, what are you doing, man? I don't know. I'm supposed to be reading an ad. All right, hold on. Give me it. Okay.
All right. This podcast is part of the Christian Geek Central Network at ChristianGeekCentral.com.
There you can find a collection of blogs and podcasts working together to bring you some of the best content on the web for Christian geeks, such as the Strangers and Aliens podcast. Strangers and Aliens is a conversational podcast and blog that explores the relationship between God and man through the lens of speculative and imaginative fiction, and explores speculative and imaginative fiction through the lens of God's relationship with men. Join Ben, Dr. Jace O'Neill, and Steve McDonald, a trio of Christians who are both fans and creators of story, in their conversation about the intersection of faith and imagination. The following is a spoiler-filled review for the movie Promare. Listener discretion is advised. Promare was directed by Kirayuki Imaishi, who directed Kill la Kill and Inferno Cop.
That makes sense.
Very much
totally
so.
makes sense.
The Japanese script was written by Kazuki Nakashima, who also wrote Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann and Kamen Rider 4s.
I'm seeing a theme here.
You should. Michael Schneider, who wrote the English ADR script, also wrote the ADR script for Dragon Quest Your Story.
Okay.
The music was by Hiroyuki Sawano, who also wrote the music for Kill la Kill and Attack on Titan. Gallo Timos was played by Billy Kametz, and in the Netflix anime Agretzko, that's the one made by the Hello Kitty people about a raccoon who works at an office by day, but then listens to does heavy metal karaoke by night, and it's a very funny show. He played the character of Anai in that.
Okay, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Johnny Young Bosch played Leo Fotia. Johnny Young Bosch is probably most well known among our generation as playing Adam Park in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And he was also Kaneda in the second dub of Akira.
Oh, okay.
The Bandai dub.
Oh, the Bandai dub. Okay.
Yeah, not the Streamline dub, but the Bandai dub.
Oh, okay. Haven't heard the Bandai dub yet.
It's actually not bad. Although, admittedly, when I watched Akira, I was switching back and forth going, neither one of these are great. And it's not the dub's fault.
Right.
It's the fact that because of the way Akira is made, it's hard to match mouth flaps.
I gotcha.
Anyway, Steve Blum played Steve Bloom.
There we go.
Played Ignis X. He was Vincent Valentine in Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, and Spike Spiegel in Cowboy Bebop.
And many other roles.
Mm-hmm. Cray Forsyth was played by Crispin Freeman, who played Captain Justy Ueki Tyler in The Irresponsible Captain Tyler.
Two completely different.
Very much so. He was also, and just to throw that other weirdness in there, he's Rude in Final Fantasy VII Advent Children.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, a completely different character than Captain Tyler.
That just shows his range.
Very much so. Mike Pollock played Deus Prometh. He is the current voice actor for Dr. Robotnik in the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise.
Or Dr. Eggman, as some people know him as.
Anyway. And he also played Yasui in Weathering with You.
Ooh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Varys Truss was played by John Eric Bentley, who played Barrett Wallace in Final Fantasy VII Remake. Bayer Colossus was played by Melissa Fawn, who played Edward Wong in Cowboy Bebop.
Ah, Edward.
Allison Lee Rosenfeld played Ina Ardebit. And the only thing I found that she did that people recognize is she was the voice of Nurse Joy in Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution. That's the remake, not the original.
Okay.
And then Vulcan Hestus, who I just realized both those names are named after gods of the Forge. One Greek, one Roman.
Vulcan.
Who was the leader of the Freeze Force, ironically.
Yeah.
Was played by Neil Kaplan, who played Emperor Zarkon in Voltron Legendary Defender. Now, granted, I kind of wrote this up at the last minute, literally. Mm-hmm. So I missed a lot of people, so my apologies there. But I do have 3 Kingdom Hearts connections. Crispin Freeman played Will Turner and Setzer in Kingdom Hearts. Matthew Mercer played the characters of Ira. He was Gira in Promare. And Carrie Walgreen, who played Lucy Effects in this, was the voice of the Grid in the Tron Legacy level in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance.
Okay, interesting.
So, info and stuff. Since I
All
really
right.
just jumped into the summary.
It's all good. All right. So, info and stuff. On Rotten Tomatoes, it says 75. There's no audience score to this.
Sad.
Yeah, I gotta say that. It's a 7.1 out of 10 on IMDb. If you are a subscription holder to
HBO Max.
Thank you, HBO Max. I have it written down here and I couldn't read it. But either way, you can watch it on HBO Max if you're a subscription to that. You can watch it on YouTube and Amazon Prime Video for $1.99. That's $1.99. That's where I watched it on Amazon Prime Video. Production company, Studio Trigger. Mostly known for, I don't know, Kill la Kill, Little Witch Academia, and a bunch of other good stuff. X-Flag, which be like, I've never heard of them besides.
I hadn't either.
Let's see. It was its Japanese distribution was by Toei.
Mm-hmm.
Its US was by G Kids. It was its release date. It was announced at Anime Expo on July 2nd, 2017. It premiered in Tokyo May 15th, 2019, and to a general release on May 24th, 2019. On June 13th, 2019, G Kids acquired the film rights for the North American distribution. It was dubbed into English by NYAV Post. It debuted in America on December 8th, 10th, and 11th on 2019. That is a huge turnaround.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they were going for trying to go for a Academy Award.
Oh yeah, that movie should have won an award.
If for no other reason than visual effects.
Oh yeah, good night. Yes. All right, so we do not have a budget on this film.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, I've looked, he looked, couldn't find it. All right, so going to box office. Its original Japanese release, it earned 1.5 billion yen, and then worldwide it earned $17 million. Now, going to another source, its opening release in the United States was $109,000 on September 22nd, 2019. Its overall U.S. gross was $1.3 million, and its worldwide gross was $9.4 million.
All right.
Now, granted, we don't know the budget of this film, so I wish we had that information, but we don't.
Unfortunately not, but from what I could tell, it made a lot of money.
It did.
To the point where there are actually 2 shorts with this.
Which are very good to watch.
Episode Gaio and episode Leo.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, I don't know if you have this in your notes, there was originally going to be G Kids was originally going to put out in theaters a complete version of this that had both those shorts plus the movie last year.
Mm-hmm.
That got set aside because of COVID-19.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that would have been nice to watch.
Yeah, because I mean, if I would love to see those edited in, because I think that would have worked.
It would have.
You could easily edit those, at least those 2 you could edit together, and I'm sure you can edit that into the story somehow.
Mm.
Especially there near the beginning, because it does take a little bit to get going.
It does.
Anyway.
Either way, home release Promare was released in Japan on Blu-ray and DVD on February 2nd, 2020. Originally set for a May 5th, 2020 digital home release in North America, the film was released by G Kids and Shop Factory digitally April 21st, 2020, and it Blu-ray DVD followed up on May 19th, 2020. So, yeah, this movie is relatively available. Obviously, this is Drew's copy. I have my own copy in my bag that I brought.
In case I didn't have mine out.
Exactly. Because you gotta display the movie you're watching.
Well, we don't have to, but we do.
Yeah. But either way, so that's all we have in info and stuff.
All right, getting into the summary. During a calamity known as the Great World Blaze, fires from mass spontaneous human combustions killed half the world's population. Certain humans developed pyrokinetic abilities during and subsequent to the event and became known as the Burnish. 30 years later, Gaio Timos lives in the city of Promopolis, where he works as a member of the firefighting group Burning Rescue. They respond to incidents involving Mad Burnish, a group of radical Burnish accused of being terrorists. As Gallo accomplishes the mission, Mad Burnish leader Leo Fotia is sent to prison by Freeze Force, a police force owned by the city governor, Cray Forsyth. However, Leo and other prisoners break themselves free and escape to the cave near a frozen lake. As Gallo arrives there, he sees Leo attempting to revive a mortally injured Burnish using a mouth-to-mouth flame transfer technique. Leo tells Gallo that Cray is capturing Burnish for use in human experiments. Gallo confronts Cray, who informs him that the Earth will soon be destroyed by an uncontrollable surge of magma from the Earth's core. He discovers that the abilities of the Burnish can be used to create a warp drive, which he intends to use to flee Earth with a select portion of humanity. Meanwhile, Freeze Force track the Burnish remnants and recapture all but Leo. Leo returns to the city to confront Cray, though Gallo intervenes and retreats with Leo to the frozen lake. Leo's flames melt the ice and reveal a laboratory run by a holographic projection of Deus Prometh, a scientist killed by Cray. Deus explains that the Burnish can communicate with the Promare, a race of interdimensional flame beings that reside in Earth's core. The surging magma is a side effect of subjecting the Promare to pain, and Cray's experiments on the Burnish are accelerating its growth. In a mecha of Deus's design, known as the Deus Ex Machina, Gallo and Leo return to the city to confront Cray. In the battle, Cray reveals that he is a Burnish and attempts to use Leo to power the warp drive. Though this nearly kills Leo, Gallo revives him using the mouth-to-mouth technique. Together, Gallo and Leo combine the drive and their mecha to protect life on Earth while allowing the Promare to envelop the surface, causing the Promare to burn out and vanish completely. The Burnish become normal humans, and Gallo and Leo resolve to rebuild the world together. Okay, getting into the trivia for this, the film itself was inspired by the Hikeshi, firefighting groups organized in ancient Japan due to frequent fires taking place. This is Johnny Young Bosch's first studio trigger project since Kill la Kill, released 5 years prior. Mike Pollock, who plays Deus Prometh, and Michael Sinterklaas, who plays the mouse Vinny, have also appeared in the Kirby anime series on separate occasions. Pollock was in Kirby Right Back At You 2001 as Mayor Lynn Blutagas, while Sinterklaas was in the computer animated short Kirby 3D in 2009, filling in for Andrew Rannells as Nightmare. This is one of the last theatrical anime films with the 1967 MPAA logo in the credits. This film uses the same animation seen in the Lego Movie films, the Peanuts movie, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Really?
And a bunch of these people were also on the Pokemon anime at different points in time. So, yeah, in the English version, not the Japanese version. So that's the trivia for this. Jacob, your first like, if you please.
My first like is the bat insane animation in this movie.
Yeah.
There again, bat insane. Like the
This is definitely 2.5D pushed to its limits.
max, because the
Keep in mind, 2.5D is a term I came up with. I have not seen anyone else use it, but I'm calling it 2.5D.
yeah
Because it's obviously 2D,
yeah
styled, but it's made in a 3D engine, and there's lots of stuff that look like it's 3D.
yeah from camera angles to like your character. I mean, like, great character designs. Great character designs in this film. You have the range and depth which they use the camera. Like you're using three-dimensional shots. You're using like every angle possible to use different perspectives in the film to emphasize a shot or a push or something like that, which is not inconceivable, but it's so incredibly well done because the use of 3D image 3D 2D
The 2.5D?
yeah 2.5D yeah thank you, that is a good idea.
It's starting to become a more and more common animation style. That's
Agreed.
why I'm just going to call it 2.5D.
Agreed. Yeah, just incredible. And I can't say enough about the animation in this movie. That you get wild, insane battle scenes with these insanely created mechs.
Yeah.
Which is like, if you've ever seen a Gynax or a Trigger anything, be like, most likely you've seen this. It'll be like,
There are callbacks to Evangelion and Gurren Lagann. Or Gurren Lagann, sorry.
yes. And it's just, animation-wise, just beautiful. Beautiful. You go from the crazy, nutty battle scenes to the point where Leo is trying to revive this obviously dying Burnish, and it's so just, what's the word? Like very personal. Like everything about it's so personal that you get really into like the character's pain just through animation, and it's not it's not force fed. It's just everything in this film is so incredibly well done. And like when I first watched it, I was like, okay, this is weird. But after like it's my second watching of it, it's just incredible. And yeah, this is probably I'll watch this every year because it's just an incredible film. So yeah, animation wise, brilliant. What's yours?
Jumping off your number one, because my number one is also the animation. Good night. I have never seen this much pastel coloring in a show.
Oh, good.
Ever.
Yes.
I mean, the bits of My Little Pony I've seen are not, don't have this much color in it.
Right.
This is so bright and colorful and action-packed. I mean, when it first starts, you're looking at going, I don't know what's going on. I don't know who any of these people are. The music's good. We'll get into that more in a minute.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting there going, am I supposed to know anything about this? And then you realize quickly, no, you're not supposed. You're not supposed to know anything going into this because they're going to tell you everything and they're going to do it quickly.
Yes.
And anything they don't tell you,
anything
they don't tell you, you pick up. Trust me, you will.
Not hard to follow.
No, it's not hard to follow. This is a very easy movie to follow. The animation is nuts.
Oh,
throughout the whole thing.
Definitely.
The thing I love are the title cards for every character, including Vinny.
Yes.
Vinny got a title card at one point. It was at the end, but I don't care. I just love that point during the last fight between good night.
Hold on.
I'll find it quickly too. Between Cray Foresight and the Deus Ex Machina, that's now another. It's got like, it's what is it? Gallo E Leo?
Yeah, Gallo E Leo,
something like that. Whatever the first form of the second form of the robot is, and they're doing that fight, and all of a sudden, because Cray never named his robot.
No,
because he didn't need to,
and
because no one in real life would call it something like this. It's probably got some boring name like Prototype Robot X75 or something.
Except you're not. This is Gallo we're talking about.
Yes. So Gallo says, "Yes, I'll beat your." Was it X Claw? It's a stupid name.
Yeah, Gallo X.
No, Gallo X is their robot. I'm talking about Cray's robot. What's Cray's robot's name?
One second.
That
Crazer X.
Crazer X.
Crazer X.
Yeah. This is well, get your Crazer X. I'm thinking, I guess that's its name now. And then 3 seconds later, Crazer X. I'm thinking, yep, that's its name. And at the same time, you realize Cray never named this thing.
No, Gallo did.
He never said. Gallo did, and that's just its name now. No one's gonna fight this. It's when the time comes to write this event down in history, because they'll have to. Yeah. This is a major point in world history.
Right.
They're gonna say, and Gallo and Leo in their Gallo X Leo, whatever the name of that robot is, fought Crazer X. This is you just imagine the history teacher writing it going, this is the stupidest name I've ever heard.
Gallo D. Lion.
Gallo D. Lion, yes. Because the other version is Lion D. Gallo.
Yeah, Leo D. Gallon.
Leo D. Gallon. Okay. These are stupid names. Which is why Craig says the greatest line in anime history.
Agreed.
Will you stop making up stupid names for things?
And he emphasizes it.
Yes,
Stop!
Will you stop making names?
Stupid
names.
Oh my gosh. But that's what you gotta love about Gallo. Gallo is
because Gallo is Goku. Mixed with Ichigo, mixed with every other protagonist of every shonen anime in existence.
And it makes fun of shonen.
Yes!
Because Gallo cannot help himself, but like every time he does a move, he has to announce it. It's like, even...
to the point where you're going, well, you're sitting there going, shut up. I mean, this is funny. This is hilarious, but shut up.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to my point about the title cards.
Yes.
The fact that every time something happens, it's like, and now we have title card. It's like, to some degree, this is annoying. To some degree, this is hilarious. And they all look good.
Agreed.
That's what the weird thing is. It's like, I want to hate this because this is unnecessary, and yet this is perfectly well within the style of this anime, and I really should just let it go. Anyway, what's your number 2?
Oh my gosh. The soundtrack.
Oh
my, nice.
At this point, we've got the same 3.
Yes.
You first.
Or just 1 second and play like a...
Oh, I know which song you're going to do. Dun-da-day, be-nan-day, ding-dun-day, ba-dum-bum-bum. Ding-da-day, dee-da-day, a-dee-da-day, ba-da-na-bam-bam-bam-ding, ba-da-na-ding, da-na-ding, ba-da-ba-da. It's like, I want to hate this song.
Can you tell he's a music guy?
But I'm loving this song. I need to get the soundtrack.
Yeah, because when...
In fact, while we're talking.
Yeah, this was an incredible soundtrack. It'd be like, you could be like, I heard one of the voice actors said, be like, yeah, that's turned to my workout soundtrack. I was like, okay, this was a really cool soundtrack. So I downloaded it and it was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Like the mixture of tech and rock and pop, and like you're using like English and then Japanese. And it's just incredible. The soundtrack in this thing is spectacular. So if you watch this film, download the soundtrack. It's so good. It's worth watching. I'll probably, whenever I get back to running, play that. Either way, the soundtrack in itself is worth a listen to, worth a download. If it's physical or digital, go track it down. It's so worth it. And obviously we're playing in the background. I don't care. I'm still going to talk. And
go ahead.
Plus we don't want to get copyright for anything, but it's so incredible. As you can hear in the background a little bit, it's just so good. There's so much mixture of, like I said, like pop rock, techno, and just like musical melody, just so much fun. And I played this soundtrack when I was driving to work, and I was like, oh my gosh, can I listen to this all day? This is so good. So yeah, my number 2 is the soundtrack. It's so good. What about you? As he tries to find the song he's looking for.
This is a piano version of it.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Take it a second to come up.
Yeah, it's just...
Hang on.
It's almost got the Evangelion kind of feel.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the song we're talking about, but
Yes.
it's not the version of the song.
Yeah, it's more piano
for
version.
some reason, the name on the official soundtrack is different, and I hadn't figured out which one's which, because it's listed on the Blu-ray as Kakusei.
Mm.
So I don't know what the English version of that is, but anyway, Yeah, this soundtrack is rocking.
Agreed.
You get right down to it because I remember sitting there going, okay, admittedly that first song comes on, Inferno, which is not the song that comes to my mind when I think Inferno.
Right.
In fact, the first thing I thought when I heard this song is like, this sounds like 90s era contemporary Christian.
It
in a
does.
way.
It does in a
Yeah.
way. Wow. I
Because
didn't
you're
think
sitting there
about
going, oh wow, this is 90s. This is very 90s. Da, 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 da. This sounds like we would sing it in church.
that. It does.
Until you actually pay attention to the lyrics.
Oh,
You go,
the 90s.
no, you wouldn't sing this in church.
No, you wouldn't.
Oh, but it is. There's not a song in here I don't enjoy to some degree, and it's just a rockin' soundtrack, and I love it. And it's not just the soundtrack; it's how well that animation marries to the soundtrack. Because there is not a point in this film that is not timed precisely
I got you.
with the notes in the songs. It feels almost like a music video for the entire length of this feature.
Agreed.
To the point where about halfway through the film, I actually had to pause, breathe, because it's like, hold on, how far are we into this? Not because I'm not enjoying myself, but because I need to know how much more time I need to be prepared for. Because watching this movie is a bit of a workout in some ways. Because
Agreed.
when the music starts going and the animation is in sync with it, I start getting pumped.
Yes.
You know?
Agreed.
And it's just going, and there's at one point it's like, okay, there's the orchestra. Wait, 3, 2, 1. It's like, I don't even care that I knew it was coming. It fits.
They're great. It's perfect workout music.
Yes.
Perfect.
It's like, I know this is coming. This is the perfect, for goodness sakes, it uses leitmotifs.
What?
Oh, words you don't know. My apologies. Do you know Star Wars? Great example.
Okay.
John Williams uses what's known as a leitmotif. Which
Okay.
is a French word or Italian word. I don't remember which, and I can't tell you what it means. But what it essentially means is characters have themes.
That makes sense.
Or not characters have themes, but there are themes used throughout the movie to actually tell you things.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, for instance, in Star Wars, you have the theme for Darth Vader.
Mhm.
Or really, it's the Empire, because Darth
Yeah.
Vader actually has a separate theme. It's only played in Episode 4 and in Rogue One. But that's beside the point. But, you know, the big one everyone knows.
Right.
Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, ba-dum. You know that's playing. It's like, okay, the big bad Empire's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, you get to Luke. That's not Luke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Those are character that's a character motif. This one is using themes.
Yeah.
Themes, essentially, is the best way I know how to put it.
Okay.
Because every time you get the Burnish
Mm-hmm.
have a theme. All the characters have themes, and then the action has themes.
Yes.
It's like, okay, we just got into the battle scene. Let's play the battle music just like a JRPG. Ba-da-da, ba-da-ba. Anyway, it is so good.
It is good.
And it's like, some of this is a little, keyword, little bit, what's the word? Cliche. Some of this is a little bit cliche on what they do.
A little bit.
But once you are bought into it, you don't care.
No, of course
And
not.
that's a great cliche.
It
It's like,
is good.
when you realize, I could complain about this because it's a little overused, but it makes sense in what's going on, so I'm just going to let it go.
Okay.
I keep saying let it go today because I think to some degree, there's a part of me that's going, I shouldn't like this movie.
Well, there's sometimes you just can't hold it back anymore.
Exactly. Third like.
They're like,
Before we go into, I mean, let's face it, Elsa's been pretty mad this week.
yeah, just thanks, Elsa. Oh, my third like is kind of like it's almost like it's political statement it's trying to say with the burnish and their is it burnish or burnish?
Burnish.
Burnish,
Because
that's
it's
what
burn,
Yeah.
as in fire burns.
Yeah,
And it's ish. Burn-ish.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Because the bad guy, or the bad guy, the group is called Mad Burnish.
Yes,
That's what it said on their title card.
it did. It did. The more it's
Not that you could read it through their bodies.
right. More it's like it's a social justice kind of statement with the burnish and their being persecuted for the abilities they've been born with. Now, what
Abilities they didn't ask for.
yeah, abilities they didn't ask for.
Granted, they are using them in ways that really are not good ways of handling things.
But they're again not all of them are.
Not all of them are.
Take the example of the pizza guy.
Yeah.
And that's a great scene of where you have this guy who is a burnish and is trying to use his abilities.
It's after it's been shown to you that the Burnish are evil.
Yeah.
They're going to destroy the city, because you get this nice epic scene where they're going in, they're stopping Mad Burnish
Yeah.
from taking out the Future Foundation?
Yeah, something like
that. Future Foundation's building from going on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going, okay. So the Burnish are the bad guys. So now we're going to have a good time eating pizza. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, fine. They're eating a lot of pizza, but you know what? That's fine. And you find out it's like, you know, that guy's working by the fire. I wonder if there's a reason for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Freeze Force shows up.
Yeah.
And you find out the guy's a Burnish. You go, well, that guy was just a normal guy. He's
Yeah,
just
he's
trying
just-
to live.
Yeah, exactly.
He's trying to make a living. And now you're going to put him in jail.
Yeah.
I mean, you learn later on that there's a lot worse that's going to happen to these people.
Oh, yeah.
Especially to the pizza guy.
Oh yeah.
Good night. I was about ready to kick Cray to the curb right there.
Exactly.
And he wasn't even done pissing me off in that scene.
Yeah, the fact to be like the Burnish are being used for Cray's experiments and they're being tortured and killed for this, and you feel bad for them. It's like good night, and be like like the second watch I saw more of the understanding of what the Burnish were going through and
Yeah.
why,
Especially after you watch the shorts.
Oh yeah, definitely. And definitely Leo's passion about be like, we're Burnish, but we don't kill.
Mm-hmm.
Because Burnish don't do that. But if you watch the shorts, they did that before Leo stepped on the scene.
Right.
But
Apparently
it's
3
just,
months before.
Yeah, 3 months. But the statement of that, even though you may be like cursed or blessed with something, it doesn't mean that you are, tail end as a villain.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like treating people with respect and treating people with dignity. And it's like, yeah, we may disagree with people that have different issues that we are like maybe struggle with different things or may have a different skin tone that we do.
Mm-hmm.
But we shouldn't persecute them for that. Be like, we should, try to come alongside them and be like, hey, I want to understand why.
Yeah.
I want to understand why this is happening. And not let's throw them into prison because we disagree with this or they're a possible threat.
Yeah. Not to get too political, but two extremist groups in our current society need to watch this movie.
Yeah, just a bit.
Just gonna say that.
Yeah,
I'm not on either side. I just want y'all to shut up.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, it's message of I wouldn't say tolerance, but more of understanding people's problems and not automatically what with the scene where the pizza man is thrown to prison is hauled off by Freeze Force and the people are automatically disgusted. Oh my gosh, that a Burnish made this. Ugh. And our characters make excellent.
You're sitting there going, you were just fine eating that before you knew that.
Exactly.
It's fire. It's not even Burnish fire that touched it. It was normal fire.
Yeah, exactly. But it's more along those prejudice lines that be like, oh my gosh, as somebody or whoever made this, this is gross. Like you just said. But you enjoyed that like 2 seconds ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I think with that, it's just more. I think as a society, when it comes to like not understanding other people, that they may be different or have or they might be struggling with something. It's like, hey, help me understand this, or maybe I can try to understand it better and not try to shun you because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a great message just to like understand people rather than push them away.
And I agree.
So yeah, that's my number 3.
My third like is not the political discourse involved.
Okay.
The political message in this movie that
Yeah.
thankfully does not hit you over the head. It's just there.
Yes.
Because that's the problem I usually have with a lot of stuff is like it hits you right upside the head and it says, pay attention, like Zootopia does.
Yes. Zootopia does do that.
Being honest. No, my third like in this movie is the character of Gaius. I nearly said Vinny, but that's the mouse. No, the character of Gaius is got to be one of Gallo. I said his name
Gallo.
wrong.
Yeah,
I was
Gallo.
I was combining both his names. Gallo Timos.
Yeah, Gallo Timos.
Gallo Timos
Oh my gosh, this character
is an idiot,
he is an idiot.
but he's the best type of idiot.
Agreed.
He's passionate for the right things, and he's too stupid to stop and think about what he's doing.
Agreed.
And he's very passionate about stuff. He's passionate about... I always love this. You know it's Japanese. You know it's a Japanese anime because the art style and because all the original voices are in Japanese.
Yeah.
This is an ancient firefighting technique from a far off country. I'm thinking, where is this? It's not in Japan. Because y'all obviously are talking Japanese in the original version of this film. But it's like... But at the same time, it's like, okay, cool. Firefighting things. It makes sense Japan would have to have a firefighting technique that maybe did not involve water because most of their fires were dealing with magma.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The firefighting spirit.
Yes.
I love that.
Of a giant fan
Yes.
umbrella thing. I'm saying this as a stupid American, okay? I don't know what that is. And at first I looked and go, this is so stupid. And then it's like, oh, no, wait, this is a real thing? I might have to look into this. Because obviously, if it stood enough time to be remembered, it's either really stupid or it was really good or really worked.
Mm-hmm.
And then he starts using it. It's like, okay, I don't even care if this is stupid. This is awesome to watch with him with his giant metal version of this thing that makes his armor that makes him move fast. And it's like, oh, how do you like this thing's automatic freezing feature, Leo? It's like, why? Anyway, the guy, when he has made a decision, you can't change his mind.
No, you can't.
It actually is hard to change his mind.
Agreed.
Because most of this movie, or at least a good half of the first half of it, is Gallo realizing Burnish are not the bad guys.
Yeah, exactly.
They are not going about this perhaps the best way possible.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not necessarily the bad guys. The bad guy is his mentor for so many years, and it takes him it takes Cray telling him how much he hated Gallo
and trying to kill him
and tried to kill him for Gallo to finally get it through his thick skull. Hey, Cray might be evil.
Yeah, you think?
Just might be. And then the rest of the movie is, hey, Leo, I'm going to stop you. And then we're going to go down and see this doctor at the bottom of this lake that always helps me cool off somehow. Because, I mean, it's what, 30, it's a huge, deep ice lake that Leo was able to melt completely without destroying the lab in it.
Yeah.
And then they go meet this doctor guy
who's dead.
Who's dead, but his name is Deus. And the entire reason his name is Deus is so they can make one joke.
Yes.
And that's because the robot's going to be called Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah.
For those of you who aren't aware what this term means, it is Latin for God in the machine.
Uh-huh.
That doesn't tell you much until you remember in Greek, in the old Greek theater, an quick way to end a play after they had written themselves into a corner was to have a god come back and fix everything. And the way they showed that was this weird machine-like contraptions that would make things happen. That's why it's called God in the Machine or Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's essentially used in terms when they've written themselves into a corner and they've got to have the magic MacGuffin to save everything.
Mm-hmm.
He names his machine Deus Ex Machina because that's essentially what it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is, it's not powerful enough by itself.
No, it's not.
So first you have to turn it into a Gallo de Leon,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's not quite good enough. So they turn it around to make all the burnish blow up, which makes sense when you think about a fire. Because is sometimes the best way to put out a fire is to let it burn itself out.
Exactly.
Just putting that out there.
Uh-huh.
Because I don't think they explain that very well in this movie.
They don't.
It's just like, no, we're just going to burn everything. It's like, but your firefighter spirit says to put out all the fires. Just putting that out there. You said it so many stinking times in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, anyway, oil and water combined.
Yes!
That was the other name I wanted to use for this.
Yes.
Because it's like, that is so much what this is. Because oil and water don't mix. And yet somehow it works here. Because obviously Leo is oil and Gallos is water. Oil and water. And they somehow come together despite the fact they shouldn't.
Yes.
And yet it doesn't feel contrived.
Uh-huh.
So I guess it's both Gallo and Leo. I said Gallo. I'm going to go throw Leo in this because Leo is an interesting character too.
He was.
He's very cool-headed.
Yeah.
For oil.
Or someone who burns.
For burns. But it's very interesting. I do have some issues with this movie. So if it's all right, I'm going to go ahead and give my first dislike.
Go for it.
My first dislike. How did the Burnish create stuff with their fire? I'm sorry. That confused me the entire movie. Because, first off, they created their motorcycles and their armor out of fire. That's their Promare fire, admittedly. Yeah. But they made it out of fire. And the armor that he puts on at the end is made out of Burnish fire. How does this work? Because it's not like it's fire acting like armor.
Yeah.
It is a solid object. It
is
true. Cyber armor made out of Burnish fire.
Yeah.
How? That doesn't make any sense.
Well,
and it's something that bugged me throughout the whole movie, and it's one of those things where I know, let it go. It's not important. It's important that it happens, not why it happens. But at the same time, I'm going, this doesn't make logical sense. I can kind of work with when the Burnish die, they turn to ashes. Makes sense, they're burned up.
Yeah.
I can kind of understand that the Burnish automatically heal from most of their wounds as long as they're not severe enough. And that's probably why Leo, despite being looking like he's 25, is probably 60. This is kind of what they gave the thought of.
Yeah, it is implied.
It's implied that he's much older than he looks.
Yeah.
So I can kind of work with that.
Flame youth, maybe?
I can kind of work with that. Those make some amount of sense to me.
Yeah.
Creating armor and motorcycles and giant mech armor from the fire does not make sense to me. Well, and it's one. I will admit this is a nitpick.
Yeah.
Because it honestly doesn't matter, but it does bug me.
The only thing I can, going from the film itself, says that the Promare, which is the living life force, which is the
fire from another star, from a distant star in another universe.
It's the parallel universe, which is called.
Yeah.
That was the most confusing thing about this film.
I don't know. I could live with that.
Yeah, it was weird, but it was workable.
It's Promare. They're these fire-based organisms in a star in a parallel universe that's somehow intersected with our own.
Yes. Okay.
I've heard worse technobabble. Continue.
But I mean, like that's apparently they can create anything the user or the
apparently
the Burnish can desire, but that's never really implied.
It's never explained.
No, it's never fully explained.
And like I said, it doesn't need to be explained for the story. It's just something that's like, I don't get it. I don't know why this works. And it bugs me.
Okay.
Like I said, it's a nitpick. So, your first dislike.
Okay. My first dislike, now granted, this is a nitpick. This is an extreme nitpick, and I want more of this.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get more of like a prelude or a something that comes before?
More lead up?
Yeah, more lead up. More
Maybe more time with some of these characters so that we get to know them. So
Or-
they're not just names in the crowd and go, oh, look, it's that guy.
Yeah, that too. But the point I want to get to is, can we get more of the what was that, the Great World Burn? What was it?
The Burning Calamity or something.
Yeah, the
like
Burning
that.
Calamity or whatever.
Great World Blaze.
Great World Blaze. I want more of that. I want more of the social economics, the political, all of that, like how that worked, because you only saw like glimpses of it. I'm like, give me more of that. Give me a movie over this. And that's a part of me. It's just like, can we get more of this, please? Because this was amazing. Like the
A movie set in that time frame would be awesome.
Yes,
But I would also say that would not do what they were trying to do with this movie.
No. This was maybe something they would do later on. That was kind of flesh out that story more. But I really, really wanted more of that story. I mean, we didn't. We went, okay, here's when the burnish happened, and then we jumped 30 years later.
They do at least go into the place, because you get that beginning where it's like, here's how here's these three people who are treated badly, one in different ways, and how they exploded with this anger and fire.
Yes.
And because when that started, all these others started, because fire just burns, and chaos and turmoil happened, and that's how they introduce the concept of the burnish. But they're introducing it from the perspective of burnish are the bad guys. I would like a series set in that pre-universe where you can actually go in and meet all these different people, and all, not really a serial.
Yeah.
I want like a Twilight Zone kind of thing where here's this person's story on how they became a burnish and all the crazy more like Twilight Zone.
Okay, yeah.
I want a Twilight Zone style show about people becoming burnish in this, and during the time of the blaze, and maybe have that complete a story of the world going into turmoil.
Yeah. Or like how Leo became a burnish and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, it would lead to that, because like it says, the movie makes it seem like Leo has been a burnish from the beginning, and he's just lived this long.
Yeah.
It's implied that happens, but it's not really explained that happens, because apparently he didn't join Mad Burnish until 6 months before the movie.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's very quickly before the movie.
Agreed. So yeah, that is my number one.
What's his name is still considered a rookie. Gallo.
Yeah, Gallo. Yeah.
But
yeah, just give me more on the background and the
yeah. My second dislike is similar. It's just I want more time with Burning Rescue.
That makes sense.
And with Leo's and with Mad Burnish, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Really, once you get past the beginning, they're extras. They're extras with names.
I agree with
They
you
keep
on that.
bringing them up because, it makes sense they would be doing this stuff. And they do some interesting, cool stuff, but they're not important to the story anymore. I mean, there's some things where they come up, but it's like, no, the important people are Gallo, Leo, and Ina.
Yes.
Those are the only three people who matter in this movie.
Pretty much.
And Cray, of course.
Yeah.
Those are the only four people who actually matter in this movie. Everyone else they've got roles to play, but I get the feeling like we were intended to like these characters more, and I don't think we're given enough time to work with them, because you look at the Burning Rescue group. there's a lot there you can work with. In
Oh,
terms
yeah,
of stories.
absolutely.
You could talk about the fact that you've got a mad scientist girl who's got a pet mouse
Uh-huh.
who only says Vinny.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the basketballer dude. You've got
Varys.
Yeah, Varys. You've got the serious guy who's obviously the leader of the team. And I don't. And then you got
Ignis.
Yeah. And what is? Hang on, I'm just looking.
As he steals my pad.
I'm just looking right quick. No, Ignis is not the guy I was thinking of.
Oh.
I was thinking of Remy.
Yeah, Remy.
Yeah. Remy, who's the cool-headed, on the ground, on the field leader.
Yeah.
And then you've got Ignis, who's the leader of the entire group, who's gonna have, of course, those cool moments of, we're gonna do the thing. It's approved. And you're going, really? That stupid move was approved? Okay. He is Gallo.
Yeah, he's
Somehow it'll work. You have to love that line. Will somebody get Gallo up here to fix this thing? He's the protagonist. He ought to come up here. That's what you're thinking. But we don't get enough time with them. There's so much they could do. It's very obvious just looking at their headquarters, which we only see the one scene of.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, you could do a lot with just this group alone fighting the Burnish, and then, yeah, they're fighting the Burnish because the Burnish are doing all this horrible stuff, but you could also work in Leo's group's story and get more with that group. You could do an easy 24-episode anime with this. You could do a 12-episode anime and I would be happy.
Mm-hmm.
But we only get this 1 2-hour movie, and it's like, I want more with all these characters because I want to get to know them all.
Studio Trigger, please
Make a show.
Make a show. Please do a show. Call it Burning Rescue.
Yes.
Whatever.
Promare Burning Rescue.
Yeah,
I will watch that.
Watch it. Yes. Please.
I will watch that in a heartbeat.
Yes.
Anyway, your second dislike.
Okay, my second dislike. Oh my. It's like they're trying to beat you over the head with this one point. Gallo, over and over, he says it 5 times. That Cray is an inspiration, that he saved him as a kid, and they inspired him to be a firefighter. 5 times!
After the third time, you go, Cray's is gonna ruin this, isn't he?
Yeah, pretty much.
Because it's like, you've said this too much, because you've let us know so many times. This is something you mentioned in your backstory once.
Yeah.
And then if you have and if it was a show,
yeah,
you would bring it up maybe 2 or 3 episodes later when it's an important plot point to an episode. Then 2 or 3 episodes later it would come up again. And then once you're getting into the climax, that's when you hit oh, by the way, Cray is the jerk.
Yeah.
And if you've been paying attention, you kind of already know that.
Yeah.
Even though it's not been revealed.
Yeah.
That's how it would be done. No, and this is like, oh yeah, Cray was my hero. He saved me when I was a kid. Cray was my hero. He saved me when I was a kid. And it's like, Cray just happened to be there, didn't he?
Yeah,
Cray started the fire, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I was going, Cray started the fire before I even thought Cray is a Burnish.
Pretty much.
I'm going, Cray's the bad guy. I should have known this from the beginning when he's got his statue outside of the Impossible building. I'm not kidding. I saw that building and go, that building's important because it's impossibly architectured.
Yeah, pretty much. And the scene that drives me nuts because
and it doesn't make sense until you see the rest of the ship.
That is true. That is so true.
Sorry, go ahead.
So the scene that drove me nuts because you have when Gallo gets the reward from the commish, and he tells his backstory again, and then you go to the pizza scene. And then he says it again, and then a character re-emphasizes it again.
It's like, we want you to know very clearly that Gallo's idol is Cray.
Yes.
We want you to know this because, well, you'll find out in a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, let's beat you over the head with it.
And I'm thinking, I've watched enough anime where it's like, you know what? I bet the leader of the city is the bad guy.
Yep, pretty much.
Because that's just how this works. And besides, he's got kind of the hair
Yeah.
of a bad guy. And then, of course, the Impossible Building turns out to be a giant mech. Well, I'm thinking, well, that just fits. This is anime, obviously.
That is true.
Anyway.
So, what is your number 3?
I think I'm on my second dislike, actually, aren't I?
Well, you went first.
1. Then you did your
1.
1. And then I
2.
did my 2.
Yeah.
And then you just did your 2.
Yes.
Then you're on 3. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. I get confused.
Like we all did.
Yes. My third dislike. I don't like the ending.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I know fires burn out,
Yes.
but it's like, here's the thing. They bring up the Deus Ex Machina, so you kind of know a Deus Ex Machina ending is coming.
Yes.
It's still a Deus Ex Machina ending.
It is.
And that annoys the crap out of me.
It was very annoying.
It's like,
When I first watched this movie, it was like, what the heck? Be like, they're putting the fire out in the earth. So you're
No,
going to
that-
put the magma out.
there is that.
Yes, I was like, wait, so
Because I'm looking at going, okay, you're going to let the fire burn by having it burn. What's about the magma that's already in there? It's still got to be there. Otherwise, the planet will die.
yeah, it's called a winter Armageddon.
It's like, you're going to create a bigger problem here
Yeah.
if you let all of the magma go, but you're still going to burn out the Promare. How did the Promare burn out without burning out the magma?
Right.
I'm confused. And at the same time, it's like, and we're going to do this, and the movie's over. Trails of fire you always knew. That's how it goes.
It does.
It's like, you get this big climax, and then that song goes, that's the end of the movie. It's like, what? You're not even going to give us that cliche ending. Gallo went on to do such and such and became the leader of the firefighting group, and Leo went on to become a political organizer and became the next mayor of Promopolis. You're expecting crap like
you
that.
think so, but no.
But it doesn't do that. It's just, and title cards. Here's the title cards for other characters. And hey, Vinny's going to get a title card because why not give the mouse a title card?
Yeah.
Also, did you catch that Vulcan Hephaestus, or whatever his last name is? Because it's not exactly Hephaestus.
Festus.
At the end of the movie,
Yeah.
he somehow pops out of his body and
Oh.
you find out he's a baby man.
Oh, that was hilarious.
I
I
love
love that.
What? That was a mech suit? It kind of makes sense.
It does make sense. There again, it's a trigger thing.
I know, and I was like, just bring that up out of nowhere while we're going through the ending credits. That's great. Anyway, it ends. It's like you're pushing this climax and everything, and you're thinking maybe we'll get at least a scene of epilogue.
Uh-huh.
Trails of fire you always knew. I was like, I've got to relax, and yet I'm still getting hyped up from the music. I don't know what this is.
Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. That was good.
Deus Ex Machina
Okay.
endings annoy me because,
Agreed.
and this is the secondary type of it where, yes, it's a Deus Ex Machina ending that ends too fast.
Agreed.
Give us epilogue. Give us breathing room. Let us know that these people lived past this day when they somehow saved the world. Because for all we know, burning out the Promare burned up all the oxygen and they all suffocated. Tell me that wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, true. That is so true.
There
All right.
has to be fuel.
Agreed. Agreed.
What's your third dislike?
Okay, my third is like, oh, it's I don't know if it's a conflict. Let's say that it's a conflict. Cray Forsyth. This character, oh my god, be like he is a good villain. Don't get me wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just like, and there again, it's a trigger. It's a Gynex thing that all your villains have to be over the top nuts. And the turnaround that he is a burnish, that he did all these wicked things, that he hates Gallo, he wants the world to burn, and like he intentionally wants to destroy the burnish in order to destroy the world. So there's the one line where he says that it's like, well, if we do it now, it'll be another 6 months. I'm like, you were gonna do this all along. And I'm just like, it just drove me nuts the entire time. I'm like, really? This is the guy's motivation?
It's like, we either do it now or we do it in 6 months. Do it in 6 months. What's the rush?
You know, or they'll be like, even the bigger point that...
Hey, here's a wild idea.
Yeah.
This engine that Leo and Gallo just brought up is more pure than yours. Perhaps it can actually create the warp engine without hurting people.
Yeah.
Because Leo can use it without hurting himself.
Yeah.
And yet, also, I would just like to point out, the burnish used the impure ones without hurting thememselves.
Yeah.
Just pointing that out there,
just
because then it was a green light. They'll get hurt when there's a red light, but when the light's green, everything's gonna be Deus Ex Machina.
Okay, this is the one thing I don't like about doing this, is that you have an amazing film you love to death,
and nitpick it to death.
Nitpick it to death, and it's so annoying. But I love doing this. There again, it's just more like
I would also like to point out, based on this, this will not change subsequent viewings for me.
No, it won't.
I was pointing out all the stupidity in it.
Yeah, I would say it's trigger Gynex villain syndrome.
Yes,
it's you're over the top. He's it's over the top villainy, and it's not subtle at all. There's nothing subtle about this movie at all. I think it's just more there. That's what it is. It's trigger Gynex villain syndrome.
I'm gonna call that something else for you.
Okay.
It's tokusatsu villains.
Tokusatsu villains. Okay.
I know you don't watch Sentai, but you know Power Rangers.
Yes, I know Power Rangers.
It's that style villain who is a villain for villain's sake, except they add just enough backstory that you can kind of see where he's coming from.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong.
He's not Snidely Whiplash tying what's her name to the railroad tracks, going, "Hey, try to save her now, Dudley Do Right." I can't curl my mustache.
No, you can't.
But it's like, it's almost that, but they've put enough thought into it. It's like, okay, I can kind of see what you're doing, even though you're going about it the craziest way possible, like most Super Sentai and Kamen Rider villains.
That is true. Also, I do want to mention that there again, I love how Cray, his design, how his backstory and everything is fantastic. It's just this balls to the wall nuts. He's just crazy for crazy's sake. He's villain for villain's sake. His motivations are just nuts. Yeah. And for me personally, when it comes to a villain, I want a villain that has be like kind of, pun intended, a slow burn. Be like we get this like very slow burn to be like, okay, this is the villain.
Can the burnish burn slow?
Villain wise, maybe yes. But there
Leo exists, so yeah, burnish can
Leo
burn
does
slow.
exist. Yes. So yeah, just that. It's just kind of nuts. Now, granted, this is not my fourth. This is more a nitpick towards.
Oh yeah.
When people talk about this film, I've seen it a few times.
This is what they're going to complain about.
Oh no! There's this thing going around with the all type of shipping. We're gonna ship characters.
Oh, I don't ship crap.
No, I know. I've done it once with Harry Potter, but nothing else. But
you were a Harry Hermione person.
Yes, I was.
Who was it when they first read that and go, "Oh, Hermione's the love interest"?
Yeah, exactly. It made sense. Why do you pick Ginny? Just saying.
Let's not go there on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's different.
I have my theory as to why he picked Jenny, but we're not going.
Yeah, I know why, but it was stupid.
We'll go there when I hit off.
Yeah, exactly. So there's this weird. Okay, here I want to bring this up if I can get the tab to do right. Here we go.
You trying to bring up Gallo and Leo shipping?
Yes, exactly.
Galileo?
Gallia, whatever. But they're always pointing to it's like, well, it's very obvious because they kiss at the very end. He's a freaking firefighter for crying out loud.
Heard of CPR?
Yes, exactly.
That is really what that is. It's
Exactly.
CPR.
He's trying to bring him back to life. He's a firefighter. He's an EMS tech. Like, that's what he's doing. That's his job. It would matter if it was the villain. That's what Gallo would do.
Yes,
he would try to save him.
Because that's who Gallo is.
Exactly. He's a firefighter through and through.
As much as he hates Cray, by the end of this, he would try to save him.
He did save Cray.
Yes.
Just
Because that's who Gallo is.
Yeah.
And Gallo didn't know if giving him that fire was going to work because he didn't know why the fire was with him at that point.
Exactly.
He just knew it was Leo's fire and it was protecting him. It's like,
Yeah.
well, I'll just give it back to him. How do we do it? Well, I saw him do it earlier by breathing into that girl.
Yeah, exactly.
To try and get her breath started. It
Yeah.
must be a similar thing. It's called CPR.
Yar.
In fact, there was a point there where it looked like he was about to give the heart resuscitation thing. So
Yeah, it
whatever you
did.
call that.
Yeah.
It's like
Resuscitation.
it's CPR, people.
Yeah. Just like I mean,
Calling that the kiss of love is like calling is like making fun of someone for, ew, you kissed a girl. I was trying to save her life.
yeah, exactly.
It's the same thing. Sorry.
It's oh my
I hate
gosh.
shippers.
Yeah, I'd be like, now if you are a shipper and you like to ship things, that's perfectly fine. This
Now, yes, I like to ship things. I like to ship things through the mail. And I like to go onto ships. But I do not like to, and I have had theories about people who should have relationships.
yes.
But I don't do shipping because shipping is fan theorizing, and fan theorizing, if not done correctly, will ruin the movie you're watching and not allow you to enjoy the movie you get.
Exactly.
That's the problem I have with shipping.
Yeah, so
It's the same problem I have with people who have a theory about the way they think a movie should go, and when they go from watching a trailer, when they go into the, oh, well, that's just a missed opportunity. Maybe that wasn't their point.
yeah. Or one I've seen with Tangled the series. They try to ship two of the characters. I'm like,
Let's not go
no,
there.
No, that's just stupid. Be like,
Anywho.
anyways, I just wanted to bring that up because I thought it was just kind of weird.
Okay.
Because I saw people talking about.
Let's get into ratings.
Yes.
I think we're to that point.
Yes, yes, we are.
I'm giving it a 9.
Okay,
This is just a fun movie.
agreed.
That's when you get right down to it. It's a fun movie. So I'm
Agreed.
giving it a 9.
I would agree. I had another score written down, but after this review and just be like how fun this movie is, yeah, it's a 9.
Mhm.
It's a solid 9. It's one of those movies highly recommend. Is it family friendly? Maybe.
Mostly?
Mostly, it does have a bit of language.
Yeah.
It
Not any worse than some... What is this movie rated? Does this movie have a rating?
should.
PG-13. It's
Yeah.
PG-13, people.
Yeah.
For some violence and language.
Yes. So, be like, yes, I would give it a 9. Is it family friendly? It depends on how, like, the age of your kids or what have you. But other than that, it's a fantastic film that's worth a watch. Go rent it. Go buy it.
Go watch it on HBO Max.
Go watch it on HBO Max. Give your subscription to that. By the way, you watched the Justice League trailer, right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting ready for that. Oh my gosh. Just saying. Either way,
When I go there, I'm just tired of people on Facebook.
yeah, agreed. Either
On
way,
both sides.
yeah, either way. I think that kind of wraps things up.
Yeah. So next week. By the way, guys, I have the dice here. The dice is here because it's in a place of honor from all the good times it gave us over the last 2 years.
Exactly.
We don't roll anymore.
Yeah, sorry.
We've decided to schedule things out just a little bit better. So next week, and right now we're going through what was left on the dice
Yeah.
before we decided to get rid of it, or before October.
Yes.
So next week we are doing Batman versus Two-Face. That is the sequel to Batman: Return of the Caped Crusaders, the final role of Adam West. And you're going to see the thing I dislike about this movie, and it has nothing to, and it's actually something they were doing good. It had things changed.
Yeah.
Because they were setting stuff up.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we're never going to get to see it.
Yeah. Which is sad.
Yeah. So yeah, join us with Batman vs. Two-Face next week. This has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
And we'll catch you in the next frame. Come, Jacob. We must prepare for next week.
Prepare for what, Drew?
Same thing we do every week, Jacob. Record a podcast.
Oh, boy.
So where can they find you, Jacob?
You can find me on Facebook at Jacob B. Heron, also on Facebook at Jacob's Daily Art Corner, where I try to draw each and every day. I don't get to it as often as I like, but join me there. Also, you can find me on Instagram at Jacob B. Heron, on Twitter at Jacob Heron, and Letterboxd at Jacob Heron. So where can they find you, Drew?
You can also follow me on Letterboxd at GGeorge759, Facebook as Drew Dodgen, my Facebook page where you can see pictures I've taken at Drew's Photo Bin. You can also follow me on Twitter at GGeorge759.
You can email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com.
You can also follow us on Twitter at cast_cell.
You can follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/thecellcastgaming.
You can also follow us on YouTube at Cellcast,
Listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts,
Google Play Podcasts,
Stitcher,
Spotify,
and your favorite podcast directory.
You can also listen to us on the Movie of the Week podcast with Jim Heron, where we talk about live-action movies. And remember, Cell is a single L.